He is a newcomer to the Salukis this year as we continue Summer Access. Week 2 for Southern Illinois finally underway today. Max Pikaar transfer in from St. Louis, so he's not too far away. Unfamiliar from Southern Illinois, just up the road at St. Louis. Max, welcome, man. How's week 1 been? Now you're about to begin week 2. Getting ready to know your new teammates, new staff. How's that process been for you?
Man, week 1 was great. You know, I feel like we have a really tight team already. Only first week. Feel like I know the guys for a pretty long time, and then of course the staff, you know, came here on a visit, met everybody, and they're still the same. I feel like I'm, you know, really connected to everyone.
When you think of the process of deciding where you wanted to go next, how would you describe that process of just the difficulty of it and what you wanted to look for in your next home?
It was a really hard process. I mean, a lot of schools reaching out, but the main thing was fit and where would I end up coaching wise, like the people around me. So when I came here, of course, basketball and everything was talked first, but Coach Nagy and all the coaches, you know, they were really welcoming. Everybody seemed like they really had the best interest for me as well. So that was a pretty important thing I was looking for, is not just the basketball part, but who are the people off the court as well. So how would I fit in off the court? Would they take care of you? All stuff like that. So I felt like the first moment I got here, pretty much, even on the Zoom calls that we did, they made that clear. So I felt like that was a pretty good fit.
What have you found to be successful, Max, in terms of helping you in that process of trying to find that genuine connection with the staff, and why you focus on those things and what ultimately Coach Nagy and his staff showed in you in that to earn your trust?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's something I've always talked about. Not only my dad played college basketball himself, and he always told me how important relationships are. So, you know, him reflecting back on his playing time and still being in contact with people that he met in college or old coaches of him. And then when I came on my visit, you know, talking to the returners who will come back next year, asked them about how, you know, the coaches treat players, everything like that, and then. I only got good feedback. You know, I was hanging out with some of the guys after the visit without coaches, and, you know, then that's a moment you can actually ask them genuine questions, and they basically told me only good stuff. So, I mean, that's probably a little bit of the recruiting process too, but I felt like they were actually really honest with me. So, and they haven't been lying yet. Everybody's been great.
Out of the 6 returners, and as you mentioned, they were a part of your recruiting process and coming in here. What impresses you about the 6 who are coming back, and not just in terms of what you thought through that process, but now you've had a week of working with them? What stood out about the guys who have been here and understand kind of the demands that Coach Nagy and his staff ask for?
I mean, not only they're, of course, great players, but, they all have work ethic. So we've been here, you know, 7 a.m. lift, and everybody is pumped up at 7 a.m. talking to your teammates, even, older guys helping out the freshmen, of course. I'm a second year. I'm a little older than most sophomores, but, you know, even everybody helping out younger guys, just showing everybody around. And, I mean, of course, they're great players, but, the work ethic and how they actually want to be here.
It's a cliche, Max, but it's so true when it comes to you can't put a price tag on experience. There's only so much you can gain in a practice setting or even being around a team. You have 26 games of college experience already. What do you take away from those 26 games that can help you into the summer?
The college, the tempo in college basketball is just quick. So, last year, I didn't play much, but the 26 games I did play in, the physicality and the tempo of how we have to play, and, you know, how more physical and how fast we play, I feel how better it will be. So that's something I would, take into the summer, just tell guys to, you know, push the tempo, be physical, all this, all that. So that's probably one of the most things I, saw last year.
What do you take away from your experience at SLU that were positives that you say, hey, this is going to help me moving forward, and especially here at SIU?
Confidence probably. Of course, I didn't play much, as you said, but
yeah,
it's still a confidence thing. You know, stepping on the court, having fans around, you know, you want people behind you that are positive and help you out with all these stuff. So the confidence part, you know, I've done it before, is kind of a thing that, I think it's a thing that might be overlooked sometimes, you know, confidence is a big part of basketball.
Your development as a player, where have you grown the most since you've kind of entered the college game over the last 2 years? What's an area you most proud about in terms of your growth?
I mean, since I entered college basketball, it's kind of when I came to America, so it's a really different game than being back in Europe, of course. So the tempo, physicality, all that, as I touched on before. So I'd say, like it's kind of like just being physical, pushing the tempo, pushing the
Yeah.
pace, like, and the athleticism is way different. So playing athletic guards, playing athletic four-mans, like everybody over here, strong, can jump high. So that's way different than being back home. That's like the biggest part of college basketball, I feel like.
What's neat for us here is our kind of do-everything kicker in football, Paul Gielen. He's from the Netherlands as well, and is a tremendous guy who I'm sure you'll get to know during your time here too.
We've touched base, so
that is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you miss most about home? Like, I've asked Paul this question before. For you, what do you miss most about the Netherlands?
I mean, what I miss most from the Netherlands, of course, is like my family and friends,
Yeah.
of course. But like culture-wise, I'd say like even though we don't have great Dutch food, it's still like the little in-between snacks and stuff from back home what I miss the most. But that's a part of family and everything.
Yeah, I've heard Netherlands got their sweets down.
We do.
Pretty good, no question about it. When you came here to the States, what was kind of, I guess, the initial process for you like of what your expectation level was? And I know you spent time at Sunrise Christian Academy, which actually Jalen Haynes spent a little bit of time here before he got here to SIU. Just kind of what initial was when you got here, what you saw as your path, and of course now I'm sure it's changed a little bit.
I mean, of course, like everybody's goal was to play professional basketball after college basketball. I mean, that's at least what most people have. So that's still my goal, play at the highest level possible for me. And then coming to college basketball, like for me, it was like to transform my body as well. So like I'm a skinnier guy, but I feel like I'm quick, like pretty athletic. So like coming to college, stay having my quickness, but fill out a little bit. So like put a little weight on, so I can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, play inside out. That was like my main goal coming into college basketball.
I know one of the words I believe you have used and others have used to describe you is really versatility. And that's a word that can be, I think, very understandable of, hey, if you're versatile, it means there's a lot of different things you can do out of the versatility that you bring. What are the things that you believe you can bring with that versatility to this group?
A lot of different lineups how we can guard. So I feel like I can switch mostly through every position. I mean, of course, different on how they play. Like if the opponent plays with a really strong 5-man, it might be someone else in our lineup. I feel like I can, give a lot of different looks for the team. So shooting from outside, but also attacking from outside, playmaking a little bit, and then the guarding part. So it's just like different looks how the team can use us.
May not have been the sample size you wanted in terms of a lot of playing experience last year, but when you think of now as you go in your second year of college basketball, Max, when you watch yourself on film, when you go through practices, what's one thing, and I know I say one thing, but what's the most important thing right now where you go, this has to improve for me to have an increased role and to be the type of impact that you hope you can be here in Carbondale?
Ooh, I feel like it's like always having the high motor. So I always try to come in, like of course last year is different when you're a freshman. You try to come in, play with as much energy, but I feel like that's not just a thing like for like the few minutes I was in the game last year. I feel like it's a thing I continue to start doing. So like even if I play 20, 30 minutes, I have the same motor in the start of the game as I will have in the end of the game if it's a close game. So just bring energy, be a good teammate too.
Again, we're catching up with you here at the beginning of week 2, so I understand it's only been 1 week. You guys will really start your team workouts and the integration in terms of the terminology and et cetera that Coach Nagy's going to want to work on. But from that first week, you talk about how, hey, like we really gel well already. Why do you believe that's the case in terms of the locker room with you guys just really getting along from the get-go? Because I don't think that's always a norm.
I mean, it definitely isn't. I mean, I wasn't there last year in the summer because I was playing with the national team, so I'm not quite sure how it was last year for the team. But I feel like, in the locker room, everybody's, making jokes about each other and, like, just, laughing with the whole team. And we're all living in the same apartments, too, for the summer. So, being close together, going out to eat. Last night we went out for Ronald's birthday. His birthday today, so we went to a hibachi spot. So, being close as a team, doing team stuff, I feel like that's a thing that's really needed definitely in the beginning of the summer just to, become a team already.
Everyone, it's an area that we will touch up on in all the interviews that we have with you guys throughout the summer, and it's one area, an aspect that Coach Nagy wanted to see this team this year improve, and it's basketball IQ.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you believe your basketball IQ is at, number one? And two, what about your basketball IQ can help the others on this team?
I mean, I feel like my basketball Q is pretty good. I mean, of course, there's always lots to improve. I mean, I'm definitely not where I want to be, but playing last year in a system that like required quite a lot of basketball IQ as well. So we played on, just based off of reads and everything. I felt like that helped me for this year. And then, of course, like being back home in Europe is a pretty like high IQ game as well. So I feel like I'm trying to like help my teammates out like on cuts and reads and stuff, like when to cut or like when to maybe set like a flare screen or anything. Like I feel like I can help people out on that.
From a basketball standpoint, what impresses you? Again, it's a 1 week sample size. There's a lot of summer to go.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the time you've had with your teammates, I'm not asking you to pick out like a few teammates who have stood out. Just from a collective group, what are you like, wow, like these guys are really good at X, Y, and Z?
I mean, the first thing that like stood out to me is like everybody wanted to, on the court you want to kill each other, and that was like what everybody wanted. Like we were playing like some pickup games on Monday, Tuesday, and we just like were going at it like exactly how everybody like they were like on a good way, like wanting to kill the next person. So like that's a good thing for everybody, like just wanting to fight for the team. And then I mean, we're shooting the ball pretty well. In the first open scrimmage we played, it was just like everybody was in a high level of shot creating.
The competitive edge, and I think that's exactly what you're alluding to, and I was able to watch those, and it was good to see you guys, I feel, handle it the right way, Max, as you really described. It's you want to take that other person's soul in a way of that competitive edge one-on-one, but then as soon as it's over, you guys have a really good way of kind of burying it and move forward. I mean, I know you guys are doing it, but why is that so important, number one, and how you guys continue to handle that the right way and how that's going to be essential moving forward?
I mean, it's definitely because like on the court, it's way different than off the court. Off the court, of course, you got to stay a team. So everything that happens on the court, as soon as you step off the court, it should be forgotten. But like if you're going at it to someone in practice over, you're good again. You're teammates, but in practice, you need to have the like willingness to act like it's a game, because in the game it's not going to be your teammate or your friend who's going to be against you. It's going to be the opponent. I mean, I feel like we're doing a pretty good part of that.
No question. Again, a lot of summer left to go, but what do you believe is most important, like in this time right now, Max? Like what? I guess let me rephrase it this way. When you think of characteristics of teams that win, and that's ultimately what this team wants to do. It wants to win a championship. What are characteristics that you need to mold right now that are most important and that you feel you can help mold this team to have one or two of these must-have characteristics of a winning and a championship team?
Oh man, of course a winning team, like what people always say, winning team is to play defense. So like people that actually want to play defense, not just score the ball on offense, but people that actually like want to sit down on defense, guard as a team, not just guard as one player. I feel like that's the thing like every single team needs, play a team defense, not just one single person is going to pick up the ball full court, but actually when the ball gets over half court, being a set defense. And that's the thing winning teams definitely need. You,
of course, as you described, you came into the college game last year, so you were in a Luke Walsh's shoes, a Jalen Haynes' shoes, Daniel Palukonis. What do you try to do right now to help those guys, especially I know it was a little bit different for you where your summer process was a little bit probably extended with playing not on campus in the summer, so at least they're here. But what do you tell them now? Hey, I know where you're at to try to help them bridge that gap if there is one for them.
I mean, all three of them are, like working out like crazy. So I just keep telling them, like, I mean, Prince has touched on this a lot. It's still, week 2 right now, but keep the same working attitude in week 16 as, in week 1 and 2 right now. I mean, that Prince has been touching on that for them a lot. He's been in this game for like 4 years already. So he knows a little bit more about that than me. But, like, that's what, we've been trying to tell him, like, you want to be here, you want to keep working, but keep working, like, throughout the whole season, not just the first few weeks.
You mentioned how yet you are still one of the younger guys, but there are guys on this team who have been around college basketball for a while, whether it's Prince and others. What have you latched on already to what those guys can help you in terms of that been just around the block a little bit more than you?
I mean, it's definitely like Prince played in the high major conferences the last few years, so he knows how to, bring energy, bring physicality, but also like just like help people out, talk about cuts and all this, all that. And then Mayo, of course, he's a great teammate. He's probably the leader of our group right now, brings energy all day. So that's definitely like the thing like I'm trying to like kind of learn from them as well, just how to be probably more of a leader. I never really had a leader role, and I still feel like that's definitely like, Drew as well, being third year of college basketball, being a sophomore, but them guys that have been here for a couple of years, just to see how they like lead the team.
Of course, the pinnacle of our league is Arch Madness, which ultimately is in St. Louis, a spot that, of course, you're very familiar with. When you think of the league, it's always been a top 10 league, whether there's been so many guys who have come and go from this league with the transfer portal the past couple of years. The Valley has consistently been one of the best leagues in the country. What are you most looking forward to, Max, about now being a part of that league and trying to get Southern Illinois to the top of that league for the first time since the late 2000s?
I mean, something I'm definitely looking for is I've heard the Missouri Valley, like all the teams have great fan bases. So, of course, over here I've heard everything about the fan base, how crazy fans get, how they pack out the stadium. And that's like something I've always been looking for. Like, even when I came out of prep school, I was asking on my visits, like, how's the fan base? Because I want to play in front of fans, people that get into the game. And that's something I've like definitely been looking for, because like even if we play an hour away, I heard there will be plenty of our fans. So that's something I'm kind of really looking forward to.
Well, they are definitely looking forward to you play, Max. We appreciate the time. Welcome to Carbondale and look forward to the rest of the summer.
Sounds good. Yes,
Once
sir.
again, that was Max Pikaar. Be sure to stay tuned for more interviews and access to the Salukis during Summer Access.